I think mine went up 40.
There you go.
Plus, not good.
Yeah, I know that.
Just calm down, Ron.
35%. Okay. That's
All right, sir, we are live. We're sorry.
To call to order a meeting of the Summers Board of Selectmen. Today is Thursday, February 12th, 2016, at 6 p.m. We're in the Town Hall Auditorium. The meeting will be live streamed. I'd like to begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So roll call this evening. We have Selectman Meyer on my right, Selectman Schmidt on my left, Brian Wissinger, our Chief Financial Officer, Kim LaFleur, our Ops Director, Todd Rolland, our Public Works and Land Use Director, Dave McCaffrey, our Veterans Affairs Director, and Sherry Marquis, their Veterans Affairs Deputy Director. So, next we have public comment. Mr. Krisky, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I would. My son also wanted to. He's going to go first. And
Why don't you both sit at the table together? How about that?
well done.
Make sure you turn the mic on.
Yes, sir.
With green light.
I don't see the green light.
Just push the button.
No.
What's your son's name, by the way?
This is William.
William.
Yeah, hi. I good start?
Sure.
All right, so this is about the Fair Rent Commission Housing Task Force thing that he mentioned. Here, I'll give you a look at this. So just some about the whole building houses thing to get out of this housing crisis thing. These are pretty much the basic materials needed to build the house. I know there's a few others.
By the way, we can't see that from here, so.
All right, I'll just read it to you. So we got wood, insulation, plumbing, glass, and drywall. I know there's other things, but that's some of the basic things. We move on here. I have a floor plan drawn out. It's 1,350 square feet. Has 2 bedrooms, basement, bathroom, living room, kitchen, dining room, and it's relatively small and can be made pretty easily. Hang on here. Then we got just the basic house here. It has a slanted roof because we don't cut down the price of shingles.
If your dad just going to introduce the subject, just to let us know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so William is talking about what I've been talking to you guys about some affordable housing. As I told you, I'm able to do some CAD work, and I was going to send something to Kim this morning. Unfortunately, my computer was not playing nice with me today, and I was not able to send anything to you. My presentation is actually, I just have a couple of questions for both of you tonight.
Again, this is not discussion, so we don't answer questions.
Okay.
We just get public comments. One way.
Okay, well then I'll have a comment then about the affordable housing thing. But
Yeah, great.
okay. But William has designed with the CAD system he uses in school a little house. It's flat roof. It's approximately 1,000 square feet. And he is talking about the cost of construction of it, and that it's pretty simple building housing. And as I have said, I work in aerospace manufacturing. He accompanies me at times. He sees the complexity of things. Building houses is not hard. It's getting government people to help do it is the hard part. Most guys build houses out of the back of pickup trucks. They carry all their tools and everything there. Do you have to say anything more, or do you want me to finish up?
Yeah, I got a little bit more.
Okay, so I'll let you finish up.
All right, so I have a house design here. I can send it to you guys if you want. Cooking quick correction from what you say, it is a slant roof house, because flat roof houses, they do work. They can have problems at times, though. Not much, though. So to cut down the price of shingles, wood, everything you need to build the extra parts of the roof, we just got slanted roof here. And it can be made in bulk relatively easy, I feel. And you can easily add a garage or a deck or something onto the end of this. And then some info here, which these prices probably aren't able to be permanent, because I don't know what it takes to build a house, but I think this is pretty feasible. So cost per unit of one of these houses should be $30,000. And then it's 1,350 square feet. It can have 2 to 3 bedrooms, and we should hopefully be building 25 per year, which I know he mentioned that a few meetings ago.
What was that last part?
Just that I think that it has 2 3 bedrooms, and it can be made in bulk relatively easy, I feel. And we need to be building 25 per year, like he mentioned a few meetings ago, I think it was like 2 or 3. Anyways, here. So I feel, which he mentioned, the housing task force. So what I think we should do is that we have just this place, just building, and then we just need to hire construction workers, and it doesn't have to be anything complicated, just people that can build a house. And hopefully we can be building 25 per year, and these can't be people that take a 2-hour lunch break and don't start working until 3 p.m. They need to actually be working. And, yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go talk now.
All right, so I appreciate you sending me the affordable housing plan that you did. I looked over it. This kind of goes to what I was saying the first time I came in here. It's the big, well-moneyed company seem to have an invitation to come in and present their proposals and undivided attention to have their proposals seen and heard. Again, I have an engineering background. I look through it, and I feel like I have to come to meetings and beg to be heard. And, I haven't had an invitation yet that, hey, let's sit down and have a talk about things. I looked through some of the costs on that thing, and if I'm reading it correctly, some of those things, the cost per unit to build this is $400,000
Right.
each. That's hardly affordable. In fact, that's higher than what private housing is selling for right now. Little ranches and stuff, and I've done some studies myself, can be built for under $100,000, or around $100,000, $125. And they can be built in 3-bedroom configurations. And you can be putting out 75% more housing than you can by running with this plan. So I'm going to be looking for all of you, hopefully at some time we can sit down, I can bring in some CAD models, we can start talking about how to do things like a factory. For what this costs, for I think it's 62 units, if I remember right, you could build 250 houses, and we just got to start working on getting this housing crisis in Connecticut under control. These can be built without complicated union contracts. They can be built simply, but we need to start having an ear. I don't know whether you all put this out as a proposal to the wind company, or whether the wind company came to you, or if it was a solicitation. No, they came to you. Okay, and I'm assuming they got a good bit of time to sit down with you and talk with you and everything about it too.
They did.
They did. So I'd like to get that equal amount of time.
Okay.
Well, William, thank you. Nice job with that. Seems like you really got a bright future, and seems like you put a lot of work into it. I look forward to seeing it.
He pays attention.
And I would recommend that you find business partners and, form a company. I mean, you have a business plan, and, I recommend you.
So what I'm looking for right now, because the crisis has gotten so bad with commercial sector realtors, I'm looking for the company to be the town.
Well, I don't know that we're in that business, and we have to pay prevailing wage and things. But I think that you're putting together a business plan, and
But it needs to be a partnership, because things like HUD, and as I've said, these housing developers and all that, in Wynn's model there, it's pretty standard everywhere around that they've worked, and it all looks the same. it's cookie cutter, and everywhere they go, it's pricier afterwards. But $400,000 per unit is completely the opposite of affordable housing. It's crazy. And I'll shut up now. I know my time's up.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
both. Yeah. Thank you.
When can we have a meeting?
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, nice job, William. Thank you.
Okay, presentation by First Selectman. First of all, I just mentioned that the Planning and Zoning Committee is holding their hearing in the lower conference room. Anybody wants to attend that meeting, it's at 6:30. If anybody's in here that thinks that they're going to be here, it's not here. It's the lower conference room, 6:30. That's my only presentation. Consent agenda, we have none. Finance, transfers, and appropriations, we have none. CFO's report and update.
Not much really changed from last week. I did give you all, I finished putting in a budget comparison. It shows 23-24 budget to actual, 24-25 budget to actual, 25-26 budget to current, year to date as of today, and then 26-27 proposed. I know it's really small. It's hard to fit a lot of data on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, but I want to try and give you as much as possible. Don't worry, Bill, I did the same thing when I looked at it. I went, wow, that's really...
Yeah, I got a couple of years on it, too.
And the percentages are?
The percentages are 26 adopted compared, and the growth for 27 is proposed.
Do you have an electronic copy of this?
I do have an electronic
I think I'll blow it off.
Yep.
So like this minus 3.43% on the first page is...
It's a decrease in the selectmen's budget, and that's mostly because of eliminating the HR position that was in the 26 budget.
It would be nice if it was a little bigger so I don't have to use a magnifying glass when I go home.
I can't make it any bigger on the paper.
Get stronger glasses.
No, Brian, thank you for this. This is very helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'll use my magnifying glass at home.
I do know Bill has a conflict on the 26th.
I do.
So next Thursday, after library and fire both present, we have a total budget. I feel like we've got some serious work to do next Thursday, so we'll be in for a little bit of a long haul, Bob.
Okay.
First.
Longer meeting.
And
Yeah,
then,
We'll probably go on for another hour, in other words, right?
Okay.
because we haven't even discussed any employee raises or anything like that yet.
When do we want to finalize the budget?
If you're not going to be here on the 26th, are you back by the?
I'm back by the 5th, yeah.
What is it? The 4th or what is that Thursday?
March 5th, Thursday.
March 5th. We could do it on the 5th. It's just going to be crunch time to get a little presentation together by the Tuesday, but I can make it work.
To finalize the budget by March 5th.
Yeah.
Okay. After discussion on what's the date of the next meeting?
The next one's next Thursday, the 19th.
19th.
I mean, do you want to meet on the 25th, Wednesday the 25th instead?
I can't do the 25th. I can do Tuesday the 24th if you're available for that. Board of Finance has been happening now, so.
I could, yeah. Is that okay, the 24th, or do you want to?
Fine with me. I'm available every night.
Every night. Bob, is that okay with you? The
I got a
24th?
Rotary meeting, but I guess I'll have to miss it.
I mean, we could do earlier, too, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, like what?
Yeah, Rotary's later. If we can do 5, yeah.
5 o'clock.
So the 24th at 5?
Is that okay?
That works for me.
And then we'll finalize the budget?
Okay.
All right, I'll see. I'll change it to. So instead of the 26th, you want to do the 24th then?
Yeah, at
Okay.
5.
At 5. Sure.
Does that mean we're not going to have an extended meeting on the 19th?
I think we might still have a little bit of an extended meeting.
Okay. Let's get things started.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
5 p.m. That's all I've got.
Okay, presentations by First. So we've now got the presentations and scheduled payments.
Yeah, there's no payments this week. It was too small of a batch. We didn't bother with it.
Like I have one, all right.
No, we'll put it in with next week with everything.
Look at my calendar up for today.
Updates from boards and commissions, we have none. Pending business, we have none. Old business, none. New business. Update on the Veterans Memorial Park Ad Hoc Committee. Todd Rowland.
Good evening. We come tonight representing the Veterans Memorial Park Ad Hoc Committee. We wanted to update the board on the work that the committee has done thus far, and we also have a request at the end. The committee was charged with evaluating...
No, 26.
No, 26 then?
Go ahead.
Oh, good.
The committee was charged with evaluating potential locations for a park, reviewing conceptual design options, considering the construction, maintenance, and operational implications of any park, and identifying potential funding sources, and then providing formal recommendations to the Board of Selectmen. We've been meeting since we were established at the end of November bi-weekly. The committee's done a lot of work. First thing we took on was identifying a potential site that would best fit what we're trying to do. We looked at several, I think it was 5 in total around town, including in front of the cemetery as well as Kibbe Fuller at the corner of 9th District and Vision Boulevard. And we ultimately chose, we think the best place for this park would be behind the grammar school at Mill Pond Park by the soccer fields. It's just accessibility, the topography, also including it in the Mill Pond Park, and all the activity goes there, as well as right next to the where Angels play new playground. I think that would suit it very well, particularly if you've got grandkids that you're going. They could play on the playground, and veterans and their families could enjoy the park right next, adjacent to that. So we all felt that was that's probably the best, that's really the best place to go with this park. We looked at a couple different designs, which are in your packet. The landscape architects that did this for us came up with 2 different designs. The first one is with the structure is kind of based on the tobacco barns around in this valley. They did a lot of research on what tobacco barns look like, and that was kind of the way they came up with that design, with kind of a pergola. The other design is an open concept design in a circular pattern with a fountain in the middle of it. Both designs are beautiful in my opinion, and are well suited for that site. They have a kind of a walking ring around them. If you look at the attachment that shows the one of the designs in the middle with kind of a walking track around it. So this park would be available to everyone and would be a great place to walk not when there's snow on the ground.
Where will it be on this picture, Tom?
Pardon?
Where was this building?
If you look at this picture,
Yeah, I'm looking at it, yeah.
it's right behind the grammar school, right behind the new
Where it says
playground.
the existing soccer field?
Yeah,
Okay.
adjacent to that soccer fields.
Okay, where
Yep.
the building is kind of drawn in there?
Yeah, it says existing soccer fields.
Yeah, okay.
Right below it, you've got that circle with the sidewalks around it.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Either design would fit in the middle of that circle. Then you've got the 2 different designs here. So we're on our way, really, and we've completed most of the charges of the board. The other big charge that we're working on now is fundraising, because we recognize that all of this will have to be funded privately, not by anything of the town.
Privately?
We've formed a fundraising subcommittee of the ad hoc committee, and we did that last week, and they're beginning their work on looking at ways to fund this through donations, as well as getting benefactors and support from the local community, whether it's businesses or what have you. So that'll be work that's ongoing for the next several months. We are here tonight to request that the Board of Selectmen approve and allow the first selectman to sign the agreement with the landscape architects, as well as pay them through the work they've done thus far, which is $1,600, which got us to these proposed designs. They've also come up with estimated costs to build either one of these, and they range $200,000 to $300,000 cost for either one of these parks. It's preliminary, but it gives us an idea of kind of what we're looking at for fundraising and where we're going from here.
So would this be a town-owned?
Yes, it's town property, it's town-owned, it'll be town-maintained down the road. The veterans are planning on creating a private group, if you will, to support this and also help, kind of like with Connor's Place, the folks that donated the money to build the Connor's Place still are active in helping to maintain it, to do some weeding, and they work with the Parks Department. Kind of the same thing with some of these other sites that we have where people are involved, community members are involved in the maintenance and upkeep. But it's a town project, it's town land, and it's on the town to maintain it and repair it as necessary.
So with regards to raising funds, he's got a couple of questions here. Brian, what are you thinking about as far as...
Well, my first thought is before we even get to fundraising and getting to that step, we don't even have an approved project yet. We can't collect money for a project that doesn't exist. We need to go through the CIP process. We need to get an approved project so that at least we know what we're working towards. We don't know what our fundraising goal is. We don't know what anything is. We're going to start putting money in the coffers and booking it away, and that's a terrible idea.
In order to get to that step, we have to go farther with the architects to come up with we have to choose a design, firm up the opinion of probable cost for the construction, then we can go through the CIP process.
Right. So before we start collecting funds.
Well, raising money like for the 250th celebration.
Right.
It's going to the town.
Correct.
Because the town.
These fundraising dollars would as well.
This would as well.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we would be responsible for paying the construction costs and so forth.
So,
It'd be the same as like when we collect the funds for the splash pad.
No. They're going, right now, they're just looking at planning on how they would go about going out in the community and asking for funds. They're not collecting anything.
Great.
Sounds good.
They have to start with a presentation and marketing material and then go out and see if we can garner up interest in it before we get to that point.
What do you need from us today, then?
Well, we're looking to approve the contract with the landscape company, pay them through the work they've done, and then allow us to pay them up to $5,000 for the rest of the design work that they need to do, and also come up with a strict opinion of probable cost for construction, because then we can go through the CIP process.
But
it's going to be.
This is all going to be privately funded, correct?
Correct.
I think this proposal looks good. I agree with what the committee came up with so far, but I think kind of to extend on Brian's concern, my concern would be that we're not going to be able to raise $200,000 to $300,000. I think that's going to be a difficult ask. We look at the other projects, the playground at Field Road Park, we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Summers Foundation, Education Foundation, great group of people, took them 10 years to raise $1 million, and they got some big money behind them and some big support.
Yeah.
So I think the concern I have would be, say we collect $70,000.
What do we do with it?
What do you do? And then if we say, hey, this project's not feasible, we're going to give the money back? Because it becomes a restricted, this is where Brian's going with it. It's restricted funds.
Right.
And if for some reason we don't deliver what we promised, and then people are going to say, well, wait a second, I thought we were building a $300,000 thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not what you built. You did some hardscaping with.
Or 5 years from now, there's nothing built, and somebody goes, wait a minute, I donated $2,000. Are we going to either do it or I want my money back? And then now we start cutting hundreds of checks back to people for.
Well, I wouldn't suggest that. I think we should couch it as we're going to build a Veterans Park. What it'll look like ultimately is going to depend on if we can raise the money that let's say it's $250 for this.
Yeah.
If it's not, we would have to scale the project way back.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But we don't want to sell fundraisers on we're going to build this $250,000 park and then deliver them a $25,000 park.
So we would have to have a qualifier in there that our goal is $250. If we don't meet the goal, then we're going to have to scale it back.
What about state funds? Because I understand that state monies are available for things like this.
That's something that the subcommittee will be looking into. Is there any grant funding?
There's a huge amount of proportion of what's needed here.
There's federal agriculture money, too, to build parks and so forth with as well.
We'll have to look at it. There is, but I don't know. That's in the Hartford urbanized area.
I don't know if we qualify for it.
I don't know if it'll qualify in that location.
A lot of these discretionary funds are all frozen.
Yep.
It's discretionary.
Well, and they're competitive, too. So it's even if they weren't frozen, there's a lot of moving parts. But in order to get to the next step, we need to pay these folks for what they did and then develop something a little bit better than the concept that we have. So we're kind of in this middle ground of, yes, you're right. If we raise $700,000 and that's it, what are we going to do? We would have to scale this way back and build something.
And even that would be impressive. I mean, if you can raise $70,000 to $100,000, that
Agreed.
alone would be impressive.
After our experience with the
I don't
splash
even
pad,
think
I'm
we
just
did that
thinking-
for the splash
I
pad.
know the park in Berlin, I've seen their park, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was almost totally funded by state monies,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
And I think I told you about that 3 or 4 years ago, by the way. And I showed you pictures of it as well.
Well, that's something they're going to be working on.
Yeah.
Definitely
That-
state and federal
again,
grants.
And I would assume like the Iwo Jima and like New Britain and things, like a lot of those were probably funded by either state or federal, right? Like a lot of those memorials.
I would think, yeah.
I mean, there's quite a few of these that
Yeah,
exist.
so
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
tonight, we're being asked to approve the $1,600.
Yes.
And what else?
And allow you to sign the contract with the landscape architects that has a cap of $5,000, not to go over $5,000 worth of design fees, so we can get
Has
from.
that $1,600 been privately raised?
No, that's part of the funding for that would come out of the Hartford grant
Oh.
that the town has already received.
Okay.
5,000 of which can be used for design.
Okay, thank you.
And then what's the plan for the other 5,000? It says for construction. I mean, what are we going to
Correct.
do for $5,000?
We may have to give it back. We have until September to spend it. It would depend on if the project gets off the ground by then. That's aggressive. Or we'll go back to them and ask them what their direction would be, and that'll be up to
They
them.
have indicated that extensions are allowable if requested.
Excellent.
Okay. So I make a motion to approve the $1,600 architectural planning funded by the Harper Foundation grant, and authorize the first selectman to sign the documents.
Second?
Sign this document and allow the project, the designing to continue up to a cap of $5,000.
Okay, that's fine. I'll amend my motion to say that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I think that covers it.
Second.
You second it. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in support say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for bringing it.
Well, thank you for your work. This looks good.
It looks great.
Don't worry.
I think state funding's the way to go. I think we should be pursuing it. Yeah.
Next on the agenda, we have a budget presentation from Dave McCaffrey, Director of Veterans Affairs. Oh, elections, we'll do
You want to
elections.
do election?
Which ones you doing first?
We'll do elections first.
Elections?
Get some of those.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
So this year's elections budget is pretty straightforward. You'll see that there's been really no changes at all other than the increase to the temporary elections, which basically pays for the election workers. And the reason for the increase is because of the early voting, and that has substantially added to the overall costs.
Yeah.
But didn't we have that last year?
We did. And I think last year it was, I'm not sure if we had budgeted for that increase. And also you have to keep in mind that every year we have different types of elections that require different types of numbers of folks. So the state has continually modified the requirements, adding additional personnel. And so for this period of time, we're going to be having a dual state primary and a state election. So that's not to the highest cost of like a presidential, but it's higher than a municipal. So so those numbers were taken into consideration. Now, every year, we are normally, practically since COVID period, given a grant of money from the state but it fluctuates. So what they do is they use the previous attendance at voting. So we got a great grant this past year that covered a lot of the municipal overages because they used the numbers from the presidential, which we had as you know, outstanding turnout.
Yeah.
We did not have an outstanding turnout for the municipal, so we will probably get a pittance for this coming year.
Yeah.
So that's the consideration.
What was the grant we received for 2025?
Brian, if you have that handy, I'm not sure. It was around, I'm going to say it was around 9,000, around there.
I remember something.
Yeah, it's about around 8 or 9.
So Dave, not to be difficult, but what would be the total cost then for your budget?
Well, I have it. I mean, it's right there in front of you.
Yeah, I just didn't add it up. I don't
So,
see the bottom line.
So everything is the same, other than the temporary elections, which, as you can see, went up by 18K, and that 18K would be if the state didn't give us grant money, basically. So every year I think that in the municipal amount that we had, I don't think we even had enough to cover from the grant money we received for the municipal. Right.
So it's going to be 20, would it be 24.4 about, that's what this year is going to be? Is that the one next to the municipal general?
No, that's just
80. It's 85.
Yeah.
405.
So I gave you an example of, in the yellow items there are
Right.
all of the new elections that we've had that have incurred costs for early voting. And you can see, obviously the numbers are, the reason why the numbers increase for municipal is because the state, as you know, they've added requirements for tabulators. So in the old days, one tabulator took care of all 4 different types of elections. Now the state has changed it, so 4 ballots, 4 tabulators, 4 sets of folks to process all of those. So lots of more costs and involvement. So that's really the reason why. And otherwise, the only other, there is a possibility for an increase that I didn't give you out, which was regarding equipment maintenance, because the state gave us an itemization for the costs involved with the new tabulators. But as we've discovered, and the other towns have discovered, that they are not keeping to those itemizations, and they're sending out increases that they had not been forecast, had not been projected. So I just received one recently that was not. We'd already made a payment for the cost for tabulator use from the November election, and we just recently received a new bill, just over $1,000, that of unprojected, unitemized, and the state has gone back to the company to find out why this is happening, but we haven't got an answer yet back from the state. So
it's 85,000 is what you...
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So, Brian, how do we usually handle something like this where we're anticipating getting a grant, we don't know how much it's going to be, we're being able to appropriate?
we cover the cost of the election, and we'll use the grant as offset.
Okay.
Every year they have.
My question to you, Dave.
Yep.
Okay, so we're at fiscal 27, so we're starting July 1. We've got state primary,
Right.
both parties, correct?
Correct.
Gubernatorial election in November.
Correct.
And then the budget meeting. Those are
Correct.
the only three, correct?
That's correct.
So looking at year to date in the current year, presidential elections, the only thing we've had in fiscal 26, correct? We didn't have any primaries. They were in April. So technically fiscal 25.
So, I mean, the most recent one we had was the municipal. And this last season was the municipal election.
So fiscal 25 had the presidential. So we have municipal, and that's all we've had.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So our municipal election cost $24,000?
Again?
It cost us 15 is what we paid.
Right.
Is what we've paid year to date.
Well, I'm looking here, but
I know, that's why I'm confused by these
7
numbers.
and 17, 24,000.
Right. So,
That's
as
not
I explained,
what we paid
the
out.
state has added requirements for elections officers to maintain for the new tabulators, right? So previously, we were issued 3 tabulators.
Yeah, but Brian's talking about what we paid last year. I mean, you're talking.
What we
this
paid
is
in
past.
November was 15,004.
But you're reporting 24,000.
24,4. And
Four.
so that we got a $9,000 variance there that we're not particularly.
So, I mean, that was the chart. Maybe you're including the grant money in there.
Nope.
Okay, so that's probably the reason why. That's what the that amount of money is what I put on the billing documentation. So
So how much is the grant money we're supposed to get this year, Dave?
So it was about, I think it was 8,900.
That was 2025.
8,900, you're thinking?
Just in this past one, for
Was
the
that
last.
similar? Do you think we're going to get a similar amount?
No, I think we're going to get much less.
Much less. Okay, that's why I was asking.
Crazy, the municipal election now.
They use the previous attendance of voter attendee, so
2 weeks of
so
sitting
we got
here
a
for 9
great
people to
grant
vote.
amount
Yeah.
for the municipal,
Based on
this
what
last
you
one,
put,
based
yeah.
upon the presidential year.
Yeah.
So, but we had a terrible turnout for the municipal,
Yeah,
so
so
we're
you
gonna
get-
get a lousy grant offering, so.
Yeah.
But I will apply for it, I always apply for it, I'm always issued one, they base it upon the numbers that turn out, so we'll get them.
So you were projecting 85,000 for it?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, the bottom line is you have an increase because next year's state election, Brian's going to research a little bit more on the cost.
Yeah.
And if we need to make an adjustment, we could.
Yeah.
But it's really just a one line
Correct.
for the elections. It's the workers.
Right, so workers,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I have no recourse, I mean.
Yeah, no, we got to do what we
Yeah.
got to do. I mean,
Yeah.
we're doing the best we can.
Right.
Yeah, we understand.
Okay.
How many early voters did you have for the municipal election? Do you know, roughly? It was less than 100, wasn't it?
It was not good. It was, I don't have my numbers in front of me, but,
I was just curious if you have.
I mean, we had an outstanding, if you remember, for the
Presidential was
Presidential was
phenomenal,
high.
we had more early voters than we had regular voters.
Yep.
And of course, we had never had a municipal election with early voting, so I had no idea how many to order, so I had to order an equal number of ballots for both.
Yeah.
And we had not a very good showing for early voting, so.
And we have absentee ballots now, too.
So, and of course, we do absentee as well, and normally we have about 350 to 700 for absentee, and we had under 100. But we had to order all the ballots because we didn't know how many we were going to
But
have.
for a municipal election, it would just make sense to have absentee ballots and no early voting because
Yeah, right.
you can just mail it in at your convenience.
Well, that would be great, but we're not allowed to do
It's
that.
a lot cheaper. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
So, trust me, if we could just have absentee, I'd be very happy.
Do we know whether the state's going to reduce the amount of time that we have to have early?
So the Secretary of State has reached out to all the registrars. All the registrars have reached out and said, this is what we recommend going forward. And, for right now, the primary is 7 days. We've recommended 3 days.
Yep.
And so for an election, which is 14 days, we recommend the 14 days for a presidential.
For presidential.
But we want to have a modify between a state election and a federal and
So
a.
these figures are based on how many days.
Correct, yeah,
Days.
so right now, we are limited. Primaries are 7 days and generals are 14 days. That's it, there's no leeway in between. So that was painful for the municipal because we had 14 days of early voting with, 4 people, 4 people totaling,
And
4
even the
hours
drive-up
each.
voting kills us because you have to have people inside and people outside.
That's right. And we had to
For early
write a
voting.
plan in advance, and so they had actually rejected my plan originally. They said, no, you've got to have extra people to go out to do the curbside voting, 2 people, and have 2 people on the inside. So they made me increase everything. So basically, 8 people, 4 hours each shift.
No, you're doing a good job of the election. I mean, you're doing all you can.
Yeah,
This is a unfunded state mandate.
The elections have been fantastic, the way they've been presented.
Yeah. So we've had good.
The problem is the state mandates that
Right.
are not covered by expenses.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right. So, The veteran side of the house, basically, I have everything identical as the previous year, except I'm asking if we can increase the stipends from the present 7,000 between the two folks to 24,000, which equates to basically 1,000 a month. And I base that on, I have a short thing that I've written here. So I feel that the stipend should be increased commensurate with what our office does. This is our eighth year. We've only had a budget, really, I'm going to say, about 2 or 3 years, maybe.
I would say 4 or 5.
4 years? No, okay. I'm not sure about that. Okay.
I've got at least 4 on the spreadsheet.
Okay. We have changed our, we've completely eliminated out-of-towners. Of course, the out-of-towners that we were seeing in the past were paid for with donations. There was no taxpayer funds in that. But right now we see in excess of 800 Summers clients annually, which includes primarily veterans, but also family members and caregivers. And we've seen over 6,200 folks in the period of time that we've been in business here. Our office has brought in VA disability compensation in excess of $45 million, and our office has provided more than $350,000 in direct financial assistance, both of these at basically zero cost to the taxpayer, the Summers taxpayer. These are using federal and state funding. Also, in the recent past, I want to just reference in August of 2025, a new position was created in town that I don't believe was posted, and it was listed as primarily an administrative job for just a couple of hours each month. At that meeting, it was discussed and approved at the one Board of Select meeting for the individual to be paid $1,000 a month. And, we have been seeing these family and veterans, all this time, and we spend a lot of time.
Which position are you referring to?
Excuse me?
What position are you referring to?
I'm referring to the Deputy Emergency Management Director. Nothing against that position. I'm just saying that I observed the Board of Selectmen meeting, and I was surprised that a position that was mentioned only at one Board of Selectmen meeting to be brought in and paid $1,000 a month for a couple of hours a month to do the paperwork. And so for the amount of time that we spend meeting with and doing the paperwork of these veterans to get this documentation submitted and 9 times out of 10 approved, I think that's a small increase compared to what we are presently receiving. And we have not. We've really had no other, increases.
So what you're saying basically is $1,000 a month per 2 people in your office is equivalent to what we're paying the deputy?
No, I'm not comparing to that position. I'm just saying that I was surprised that a position could be created so quickly without any background.
The position already existed. It just wasn't paid before because we had a part-time 20-hour-a-week emergency management director. But when they resigned, the chief took that over free of charge.
Right.
And we needed a deputy, and the only way to get a deputy was to offer them something.
Right.
So the position already existed. The position existed.
Okay,
it wasn't created.
Perhaps the position was the position that monetary amount already pre-calculated.
Before there was no compensation for it because Todd was doing it.
So that's where I'm getting at. In one meeting that was identified and was recommended that the pay be paid at this amount of money to cover the few hours a month that the...
Yeah, we went from a $32,000 employee to a $12,000 stipend. So we saved $20,000.
It's not a stipend, though.
It's not a stipend, no, but we reduced
That's
the
the
cost by
difference. It's an hourly wage,
$20,000.
so,
Yeah.
but...
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't want to
Well,
spin the
position
facts
that
here.
you're
The facts
talking
are what
about,
they
though,
are.
is the director. I'm talking about the deputy director.
Right. Before, Todd was the deputy director and did it free of charge. It was part of his job duties. Todd relinquished that title. Somebody took it over because the emergency management director went from being a paid employee to being.
No, I get that. I get that. I'm just
We saved
referencing
20
that
grand doing
because
that. It wasn't-
I thought that based upon this individual doing a couple of hours of administrative paperwork for the state and seeing the number of hours that we spend working with these veterans and their family members to get benefits, I think is a small price to pay.
Well, Dave, could you help me out? Because it's just saying the veteran stipends are going from 7,000 to 24,000 in the thing you've given us here.
Right.
Where is that money coming from for those stipends?
From your taxes.
Is it coming from the
Yes.
people
Well,
in our
it's just a
town?
proposal too.
Yeah, that's
it's just,
Well, I'm just saying that's an enormous increase. I mean, well, it is. I'm just telling you, it's a huge
So
increase.
basically, right now, every 6 months, we get about, I don't know, $1,000 every 6 months. So I consider that a very small increase, personally.
Well, I'm just looking at going from 7,000 to 24,000.
I know you are.
That's $17,000 increase.
Okay.
Well, I guess, number one, I would say, I think the Veterans Office does great work. I think you've helped a lot of veterans. No one questions that. I just feel like I'm in my third term now, and I feel like every year we've literally had the exact same discussion. And I know if we watch the tape from last year, I'm going to say the same thing tonight that I said last year.
I can't wait.
Well, I just would recommend that maybe take notes this year because
I'm ready.
I feel like we're having the same discussion. We can't do what you're asking for. That's the bottom line.
Tell
It's
me why,
illegal.
please.
Well, I explained it last year. That's why I'm saying take notes this year.
Okay.
Because we pay our emergency management director an hourly wage.
The emergency management director,
The
right?
deputy, the one that you're referring to gets paid an hourly rate. So there's
Okay.
a set number of hours per week,
Mhm.
and that person gets paid an hourly rate through our payroll system for those hours.
Right.
Okay, what you're proposing is completely different.
I'm basing it on how I heard it referenced at the meeting, which was, I recommend that the individual be compensated at $1,000 a month. That's how it was remarked on the.
That's not how it's paid, that's not how it's.
I'm just saying that's how it was remarked. And if you go by the minutes, there is no reference on the minutes about any cost involvement, so that's how it's going.
Budgetarily, that gives us a number of $12,000 a year that we budget $1,000 a month. Then we divide it. He's here. And he could tell you he doesn't get $500 every paycheck because there's 26 pays. So you take 12,000 by 26, and you have an hourly wage, and you got to work. 10 hours a week or something like that, 6 or 10 hours a week. He logs hours in the payroll system. Everything's documented. So yes, I understand how it sounds on cameras, but and in the minutes, a lot of times it's high level because if you get into the minutiae, next thing you know, we got 10 pages of minutes.
So you can see where what I heard and what I saw is different from how it's being managed.
But we went through this very in detail last year, because I remember it vividly. As a volunteer, there's a federal limit on how much we can pay a stipend.
So the charter, there is something in the charter that says if you receive a stipend, you're considered an employee.
So I'm talking about federal law.
Oh, federal law.
So that's like the most supreme law, right? So the federal law, like with the firefighters, there's only a certain amount we can pay our firefighters, many of them give many, many hours as well.
Right.
They're training, right? They're volunteer fire department.
Right.
We pay them a stipend.
Yep.
They're worth a lot more money.
Yep.
But they get paid a small stipend because
Right.
that's all we're allowed to pay them by federal law.
Okay.
You're kind of in the same situation as that. So if the firefighter gets called out all night, he's at a structure fire for 12 hours, he goes to training, he goes and packs hose, he washes the truck, he
He
gets
gets
paid
$250 for that.
He gets $250 for that. And
He
you're
gets
in the exact same situation, and we can't take you out of that situation unless
Without
we were to
hiring you as
completely-
an hourly wage, and then you'd have to
Exactly.
conform to certain, and we've said that before, you'd have to conform to certain hours, you'd have to be available those hours, it couldn't be 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., it has to be normal business hours, and we had that discussion last year.
So there's
Rewind the tape.
no other position in town that has a stipend
No.
feature like this.
Nope.
Nope.
It's illegal.
Other than
Volunteer firefighters.
Now the elected, you're different is the elector because you're an elected official.
Right.
That's separate.
That's
That's
separate.
exempt. So
Oh, it's
because
exempt.
you're an elected official, there's an exemption for an elected official. But the Veterans Office are not elected officials.
Okay.
So like the registrar of voters position that you have that gets paid the stipend, different.
Okay.
And again, there's an exemption for that. So we got to be very careful.
So what is, so are we right now, we are at the limit for that level then, Brian?
I'd have to do the calculation.
Could you do that?
I mean, I can't do it right now.
For the stipend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
we pay the maximum
Yeah,
stipend.
it's a percentage of what a normal employee, it's a small percentage of what a normal employee would make in the same role is what you're allowed to pay in a volunteer stipend.
Okay. Is it possible that the selectmen could ask you to look that up to see if that's really if that's the case?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think that's ever been addressed.
It has been. I mean, we've gone through this many times. We go through this with the fire department
Right.
too.
I mean, right. John Roach wanted to increase the volunteer stipend from $250 to like $750 per quarter, and we couldn't do it. If you would make more on an hourly rate at that point than a part-time employee would make, and that's where the line gets crossed. That's what you're not allowed to do.
It can't be anywhere close to a wage.
Right.
You can't tie it to hours. You can't tie it to level of work.
Right.
It violates federal law.
Right.
So, I mean, we want to help and support, but if we're going to have and we had this conversation last year, if we're going to turn it into an employed position, that looks very different. I mean, that's a decision for the board.
I hadn't.
And that's
that
a
wasn't,
very different model than the
Right,
volunteer
no,
model.
I
that we
wasn't
have.
asking for that. I wasn't asking for that. So, all right. Well, and I'll reach out to Brian. I'd like to, review that. I'm
Yep.
not familiar
No, I'll
with
look it
that.
up.
Okay, so that's what I had.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you.
Next on the agenda is the separation payout for David Leonard, $1,345.21.
Yep, based on his salary at time of termination, calculated hourly rate, based on his employment contract, we were required to pay out any remaining vacation balances, not sick time balances, but vacation balances had to be paid out per the employee contract. The attachment shows, what the beginning balance was, what was used. We made an adjustment based on his last day of employment of what he would have actually accrued during the year to get to what his available balance is at the 22.75 hours. And then the hourly rate is at $13.45.21. And that'd be paid out
The
of,
last day of his employment was based on the work week, is that right?
yeah, it was 2/7, what his letter said, yep.
Yeah, we talked about that.
But it was the 7th because it was the end of a work week, is that it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what his that's what his letter said.
I think his
talked
last,
about
his
that.
last day of work was actually that Thursday.
I thought he came out on Friday, but I don't know.
I don't know. The letter I was given said that his last day of employment was 2/7, so that's what we were basing it on. That's what we base it on.
I hear you, okay. Great. Someone want to make a motion then to,
Yeah, I'd be happy to make a motion to approve the separation payment in the amount of $1,345.21.
Second that.
for David Leonard.
Yeah, David Lader, yeah.
Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in support say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Approval of minutes of February 5 meeting.
I had a question or two about the minutes.
Yeah.
Brian, what is the new mill rate?
The adjusted mill rate,
Yeah.
22.4.
Okay, so on page 2, the minutes have the wrong mill rate. So the second bullet, it says a projected new rate of 24.2. It looks like we transposed numbers in the minutes.
Did I do that?
Where is it? Where is
I
it?
You
heard
know, it should definitely.
last week it was
Hold
24
on, let me.
Is that second page?
It's 30.2.
I just want to make sure we put the right
I
mill
want to make
rate.
sure that
Good
I get the
idea.
right number.
I'm sorry.
30.21
People do care
minus
about their taxes. I
I
get that
know.
feedback a lot. So
7.81.
myself
what
and
page
22,
is this?
22.4.
Two in
Yeah,
the
that's the
Did
transposition.
I do what? 22.4?
It's 22.4, not
sorry.
24.2.
So we should just, yeah, because the decrease to 7.81 would be 22.
Yeah, it'd be 22.4, not 24.2.
All right.
Transposition, it happens.
Okay.
Good catch.
Very good.
That is a good catch.
I think there were a couple minor typos, but they're just things that can
That's
be
okay.
corrected.
Sure.
So,
Let me know.
just like in section C, the second bullet, like it's SOMER''S, like
Okay.
Summers.
Oh.
Like you see the committee, like it's CO are both capitalized right in that
Okay,
same
I
sentence.
got it.
So just a couple typos. If you just
I was rushing.
yeah. So I'd make a motion to approve the minutes, February 5th meeting as amended.
Sounds good. I'll second it.
Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in support say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
6:55.